morning everyone, and thanks for being here today. For today's class, we're going to be discussing the concept of deforestation. Now, to help frame the class for everybody, deforestation is one of the most commonly identified forms of global environmental change, and it is one of the oldest identified forms of global environmental change. And this is particularly because in the 1980s, the Amazon region was experiencing higher rates of deforestation, and much international attention was placed upon this region. Now, over the last couple of decades, deforestation has been outshone by other pressing environmental issues, such as climate change and loss of biodiversity. But in recent times, deforestation has come to the fore again, and this is because of accelerating demands for biofuels and also deforestation's linkages to climate change via carbon sequestration. So for today's class, we have three main objectives. Our first objective is to go over a working term of deforestation and also related terms that are used by many dominant organizations and agencies working on the theme. Another objective we have here is to explore the causes and impacts of deforestation upon the global landscape. Thirdly, we're going to be identifying major responses to deforestation that have been deployed by agencies and organizations in an effort to curb or to slow down deforestation. Now, we have a lot of material to cover over the next couple of minutes, but I just want to remind everyone, like I do in every lecture, if anyone has any questions or concerns, or they aren't sure about a specific topic or concept that I'm talking about, please feel free to raise your hand, and I will be sure to take up your question right away through the lecture. So to start off, I just would like everyone to take a moment and to imagine that at one point in time, almost all of the US, 3/4 of Canada, almost all of Europe, and also the rest of the world was covered in forest. But over the last couple of centuries, the amount of forest that these countries and regions has significantly been reduced, mainly as a result of human-inflicted actions. Now, we are going to be talking about these actions in just a few minutes. But just to give everyone sort of a big-time picture here, today in the year 2011, about 1/2 of the world's forests have disappeared. And every year, 16 million hectares of forest vanishes as well. Now, for those of you who do have some familiarity with the concept of deforestation, many of you probably know about this concept more in relation to countries of the global south. And I want to say this is partially true. Yes, currently some of the current countries that are experiencing large amounts of deforestation are located in the global south. For example, Indonesia, Zambia, and also Brazil. But I also want to bring everyone's attention to the fact that at one point in time, the U.S. was experiencing major rates of deforestation, particularly between the 1600s and the early 20th centuries. During this time, approximately 90% of the U.S.'s forests were cut down. Now, just want to check in with everyone and make sure everyone is okay, and if they have any questions or need any clarifications or anything, show of hands. Great, okay? So now we're going to be looking at some of the major terms in relation to deforestation. And, for example, what is deforestation? Well, deforestation is the conversion of forest to another land use, or the long-term reduction of the forest's canopy below the 10% threshold. We have another definition here, term here, primary forest. Now, primary forest refers to forest that has never been logged or has never encountered any human activity. And these types of forests have developed in relation to natural processes. Secondary forests are forests that are in the process of regenerating as a result of human disturbances or natural disturbances even. And they differ significantly from primary forests, for example, in the construction of or the shape of their canopy and also in their ecological composition. Another term we have here is disturbed forest. And this is any type of forest that has had its interior significantly impacted by people through actions such as felling, extraction, anthropogenic fires, and even the construction of roads. So just for a moment, I'd like everyone to refer to their packages of handouts that I submitted or that I circulated to everyone just before class started. And here I've compiled a whole bunch of maps and charts that would help a lot of you understand more about this concept of deforestation. Now, I have a particularly interesting map here that shows the world map drawn, or redrawn, pardon me, in proportion to forest loss. Now, below here we have a what we would call a normal map here. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. And above it, we have the countries redrawn, reflecting their forest loss. So if you look at some of these countries, for example, or some of these regions, we have, for example, South America, particularly Brazil, is malformed, is bulging, and this is a country that's experiencing severe deforestation. Also, particularly Southern Africa and Northwestern Africa is bulging as well, is skewed in its size. And also, if you look over here, Southeast Asia, Indonesia as well is malformed. Please feel free to look at any of the other maps or charts that I've included there, and I'm sure they will increase your knowledge about the topic of deforestation.